Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everybody. I am Shane.
And I am Karen. Today we are looking at a lesson called A Street Full of Cars. So we'll be talking about cars today. Vroom, 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 vroom.
So are you a car person?
Not really.
Do you even,
it sounds like it. Vroom, vroom.
Do you own a car?
Actually, right now we do.
Oh, you do have a car.
Yeah. Because you know how I have a daughter, so I think it would be safer to drive her to school instead of, on a scooter.
When you have children, yeah, it is important to have a car to transport them.
Yeah, how about you?
Although this morning I saw somebody, it was, I'm assuming, a husband and a wife, and their daughter was in between them, and she wasn't wearing a helmet or anything.
On the scooter.
On a scooter, which is so dangerous. But so good for you that you use a car. I don't have a car here in Taiwan.
But are you like a car lover though?
Well, when I was younger, I used to really love cars.
Okay.
As I got older, well, especially once I moved to Taiwan, I don't have a car here. I haven't driven a car in like 13 years.
Wow.
But before that, I had driven a car for like 20 years. I drove everywhere when I lived in the United States. Drove every day for hours a day. So it's,
feels different.
Yeah, it feels much different here. And now I just seem not to care about cars at all. I just don't even notice them.
But I think it's also because you live in Taipei.
Yes.
And it's very convenient to commute, through our MRT or the buses.
The buses, or I have a scooter.
Exactly. So you don't really need a car, and sometimes you are stuck in traffic.
Oh, good point.
And you have to find parking, which is another nightmare.
That's true. All right, well, let's get into today's dialogue, A Street Full of Cars.
All right.
Wow, look at that sports car. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you like sports cars?
I do, but I prefer muscle cars. They're powerful and have that classic look. Plus, the sound of their engines is just awesome.
Muscle cars are not eco-friendly though. I prefer micro cars.
Really? Why micro cars?
They're small and easy to park. They use less gas and are better for the environment. Plus, they're cute.
I see your point. They are practical, but there's just something about the power of a muscle car that I love.
Fair enough. Different strokes for different folks.
So the lesson is called A Street Full of Cars. So we're looking at this dialogue today, and it's called Favorite Cars. So we have two characters talking, Roger and Mimi. They are walking down the street.
Okay.
So I guess you'll be Roger and I'll be Mimi.
My father's name is Roger, so it makes sense to me.
All right.
I'll pretend to be my dad.
All right.
Okay. Wow, look at that sports car. It's amazing.
Okay, well, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sports cars.
Yeah.
When you think of sports car, usually you would imagine them to be like super fast
Right.
and very cool.
Yeah, and they can turn corners very quickly, and they're very agile. But yeah, we think about them being fast.
Exactly. And now Mimi says, yeah, it's cool. Do you like sports cars? Well, I would assume that Roger does. I mean, he says, oh, they are amazing. They're really cool, right?
Right, so he says, I do, but I prefer muscle cars.
Muscle cars? What does that mean?
So like a muscle car, like we have a sports car, you can imagine something like a Porsche.
Okay.
Or maybe
Ferrari?
like a Ferrari or something like that. But a muscle car It's more like, if you know much about cars, like a Corvette or a Mustang, they usually have really big engines.
And wheels too.
The wheels can be pretty big too. And they make a lot of noise. They sound like vroom, vroom. Yeah.
Okay.
So he prefers muscle cars. They're powerful and have that classic look. So oftentimes muscle cars also look more kind of classic. Plus, the sound of their engines is just awesome.
So that is just what you were talking about, the sound. Usually they would have a loud sound. Vroom, vroom. It just sounds very macho, right?
Right. It sounds manly. And when you think of a man, you think of muscle.
That's right. And then just awesome, when you say the word awesome, it just sounds like something that is very, very great, very fantastic. You go, wow, right?
Correct.
Okay. And we're also looking at this word here, classic, and that is an adjective. So basically it just means accepted or deserving to be accepted as one of the best or most important of its kind. So for example, you could say the restaurant is famous for its classic dishes. That's, these dishes are what they're known for, what the restaurant is known for, right?
Or you could just say, oh, that song is so classic.
That is right.
Just really, you just mean it's just really good, right?
And now Mimi says, muscle cars are not eco-friendly though. I prefer micro cars. Oh, so eco-friendly. That means not very good for the environment, right?
Precisely.
So maybe they would pollute the air and then noise pollution too because they are so loud.
Right. And we say micro cars, like another way you could say is like mini cars. But micro just means really, really, really small, right? So Roger says, really? Why micro cars?
Like, why do you like the small cars, right? Yeah. And then now Mimi says that they're small and easy to park. They would be perfect to have you to drive them in Taipei.
Yeah, it's tough to find a parking spot in Taipei. You need to get into very small spaces.
That's right. Okay, so Mimi says they're small and easy to park. They use less gas and are better for the environment. You can also say, more eco-friendly.
Right.
Plus, they're cute. Oh, I agree with Mimi.
That's true. Like muscle cars, they don't look cute. They look kind of tough.
Like manly, macho.
And they use a lot of gas. We call them gas guzzlers. Like to guzzle means to like drink a lot. So a gas guzzler. So Roger says, I see your point. They are practical, but there's just something about the power of a muscle car that I love.
That's right. I think that for people who really love cars, they probably love cars like that. They probably wouldn't like mini cars that much or micro cars.
Yeah, right? They're just more practical micro cars.
Exactly. So now Mimi says, fair enough. Different strokes for different folks.
Right. Different strokes for different folks just means different people have different opinions on things.
Exactly.
And they have different ways of doing things. Okay, why don't we take a short break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这次的对话是在聊车子。那么在第一段对话里 ，Roger 和 Mimi 走在街上，他们看到一辆跑车，看起来很酷。Roger 聊到说他喜欢跑车，不过呢，他更喜欢的是肌肉车，可能就是像福特野马的那种车子。他们马力强大，还有经典的外观，而且引擎声真的非常的棒。Mimi 则提到说，肌肉车并不环保，他比较喜欢微型车，体积小又方便停车，那这种车也比较省油，对环境比较好，而且外形很可爱。那么 Roger 则认为说，微型车虽然实用，可是他就是喜欢肌肉车的马力。好，那么 Mimi 这时候就说 Fair enough, different strokes for different folks。意思就是有道理，人各有所好。那么 fair enough 是用来表示说理解或接受某个说法或意见，相当于有道理，说得过去或是可以接受等等的意思。那么 different strokes for different folks 这是谚语，去表达说人各有所好。我们再来看到单字 classic 可以形容是经典的、典型的或传统的。 awesome 则是表达很棒的、令人惊叹的。补充一下，老师们刚才讲到肌肉车的时候，他有提到 agile 或者是念作 agile。agile， 那这个字可以形容是敏捷的、灵敏的。老师还有提到 manly， 在 man 后面加上 ly， 可以形容是有男子气概的。还有 macho， 也可以形容是大男人或是有气魄的。不过 Shane 老师他刚刚也提到说，其实肌肉车很耗油。那有一个说法是 gas guzzler， 这就可以用来表示说是耗油量大的车。好，那我们接着回到课文中。
I'm seeing more and more of these charging stations all the time.
Yeah, it's because electric cars are getting really popular.
It's good to see more of them. Electric vehicles don't put horrible gases into the air.
Agreed. They are the future. Have you heard about self-driving cars?
Yes, they're great. Imagine just sitting back and letting the car drive for you.
It would be so relaxing. No more stress from traffic.
True, but I'd miss driving sometimes. I enjoy it.
I get that. Still, self-driving cars could make roads safer.
Good point. There would be far fewer accidents.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So before the break, we were looking at this dialogue between Roger and Mimi,
Yes.
right? And they were talking about their favorite cars. So now they're going to be talking about the future of cars.
Oh, okay.
So Roger and Mimi pass an electric vehicle charging station. So what's a vehicle?
Okay, a vehicle is a noun. It's a thing that is used for transporting people or goods from one place to another.
right.
So an example would be like a car. That's a vehicle. Yeah, so our example sentence is, what vehicle do you drive?
So what kind of car do you drive, right?
Yeah, I drive a scooter, but actually you say ride a scooter.
Exactly.
But it is a vehicle, a scooter.
That's right. So they're passing by this electric vehicle charging station.
Correct.
So it's an electric car, so where you can charge it, right? So for example, like a Tesla.
Yeah, because they don't use gas, they need to be plugged into electricity, right?
That's right.
Okay, so Roger begins. I'm seeing more and more of these charging stations all the time.
I have to agree with Roger. I'm seeing them everywhere now.
I haven't noticed them.
Really?
Well, when I go to a hotel, I do notice that there's more spaces that are reserved
Yes.
for them, but I guess just around town, maybe I don't get out very much, so I don't notice them.
I think maybe some gas stations also have them too.
Do they?
Yeah, and then maybe like, department stores, the parking space and stuff. Okay, so Mimi says, yeah, it's because electric cars are getting really popular. And that is definitely true. More and more people are buying electric cars. They really do save money on gas.
And especially here in Taiwan, a lot of people use electric scooters.
Oh, that's right.
They're very popular.
And very good for the environment, right?
Exactly. Now, Roger continues, it's good to see more of them. Electric vehicles don't put horrible gases into the air.
Exactly. They don't pollute the air.
Like the muscle cars that he loves so much. They put a lot of horrible gases into the air. What does horrible mean?
Okay, so horrible, that is an adjective. It just means very bad or unpleasant. Used to describe something that you do not like. Oh, something that is horrible. For example, you could say, there is a horrible smell in this room. What is that smell?
I think it's you.
Okay, so now Mimi says, agreed. They are the future. Have you heard about self-driving cars? Okay, so let's talk about they are the future. She's talking about the electric cars, right?
Right.
But then she also mentioned about self-driving self-driving cars. That means just cars that can drive themselves. You do not need to be driving the car.
You don't control the car. It just controls itself.
Exactly. So like a driverless car.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of scary.
I know.
Because how can that's like too much into the future for me. Okay, Roger says, yes, they're great. Imagine just sitting back and letting the car drive for you.
That would be quite nice.
I think I would be scared the whole time. I would be so stressed out.
You have to trust our technology.
I don't know.
Okay, but now Mimi says it would be so relaxing. No more stress from traffic. Because when there's a lot of traffic, you are actually very, very tense, right?
I think I would feel more stress knowing that there's a robot basically driving me around. I don't think I would be able to relax. I would just feel a lot of stress. So stress is a noun. It just means pressure or worry caused by problems in somebody's life or by having too much to do.
Okay.
Right? So for example, you can say Ben felt a lot of stress before his big exam.
And what does Roger say now?
Roger says, true, but I'd miss driving sometimes. I enjoy it.
And Mimi says, I get that. Still, self-driving cars could make roads safer. Really?
That's the ironic thing, is that it's because accidents happen usually because people are just not paying attention.
Exactly. So if self-driving cars, that means maybe all of them will be following the rules and no one will be speeding or cutting in line. Right?
So Roger says, good point. There would be far fewer accidents.
So that would be the future. So we probably won't need our driver's license anymore.
Yeah, so for right now, I think that I would just be so stressed out. I've watched videos of people like, they have even taxi services.
Yes, I saw that too, just recently.
And to me, it still feels too new and too creepy. I don't trust the machines yet. But I think with time, you'll get used to it, and then there'll probably be just like no deaths from car accidents anymore because it will be so safe.
Or far fewer accidents, right?
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed our lesson, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
在第二段对话里 Roger 和 Mimi 经过一个电动车充电站，他们聊到现在有越来越多这种充电站，因为电动车变得很受欢迎。那么 Roger 说他很高兴看到更多的电动车不会排放有害气体到空气中。那 Mimi 也同意这样的看法。接着他们聊到这个自驾车，你想象一下，你只需要舒服的坐着，然后让车子为你驾驶。Mimi 想到就觉得那会很轻松，不再会有交通压力。那么自驾车也可以让道路更安全。我们来看单字 vehicle， 它表示交通工具或是车辆。Horrible 则是形容糟糕的、害人的、惊人的那种意思。Karen 老师在解释单字时，他提到 unpleasant， 在 pleasant 前面加上 un， 那这个形容词可以形容是令人不愉快的或不舒服的。下一个单字 stress 当名词可以指压力、紧张。还有文中它用到这个 self-driving car 来表达自驾车，这个复合形容词 self-driving 就是自驾的。那老师们也有提到 driverless car 则是指无人驾驶汽车。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边我们要介绍的是动词 imagine， 它表示想象。那它的后面可以接名词、接动名词，或者是接 that 或 wh 疑问词所引导的名词子句。我们这边就来造两个例句。第一个例句是 Can you imagine giving a speech in front of an audience of 10,000 people？ 你能想象在10000名观众面前演讲吗？那第二个例句是It's hard to imagine what it would be like to live on another planet. 好难想象住在别的星球上会是什么样子。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Wow! Look at that sports car. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you like sports cars?
I do, but I prefer muscle cars. They're powerful and have that classic look. Plus, the sound of their engines is just awesome.
Muscle cars are not eco-friendly though. I prefer micro cars.
Really? Why micro cars?
They're small and easy to park. They use less gas and are better for the environment. Plus, they're cute.
I see your point. They are practical, but there's just something about the power of a muscle car that I love.
Fair enough. Different strokes for different folks.
I'm seeing more and more of these charging stations all the time.
Yeah, it's because electric cars are getting really popular.
It's good to see more of them. Electric vehicles don't put horrible gases into the air.
Agreed. They are the future. Have you heard about self-driving cars?
Yes, they're great. Imagine just sitting back and letting the car drive for you.
It would be so relaxing. No more stress from traffic.
True, but I'd miss driving sometimes. I enjoy it.
I get that. Still, self-driving cars could make roads safer.
Good point. There would be far fewer accidents.
Here's how to play. The host will be holding 3 cards. Each card will have 2 sentences containing a secret vocabulary word or phrase that has been replaced by the word bear. The host will read the sentences out loud for the contestants to guess. Whoever guesses first gets a point. The person with the most points wins. And you can play along too.
Hey everyone, I'm Carolyn.
I'm Matt.
I'm Steven.
Are you both ready to play?
Always.
I'm ready.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
The first one is a noun and it's one word. This soup is bland and doesn't have much bear. Tim's favorite ice cream bear is vanilla.
Flavor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said it louder. Did he say it fast?
I think you got it.
Okay.
I couldn't really hear him at all. Okay, I'll read the sentences with the word.
All right.
This soup is bland and doesn't have much flavor. Tim's favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla. All right, let's move on to the second one.
I like vanilla too.
The second one is an adverb, and it's one word. After school, James went bare home. Let's ask Linda bare instead of guessing what she wants.
Directly.
Yes, very good.
I was gonna say straight because
Directly.
Can you read them?
Yes. After school, James went directly home. Let's ask Linda directly instead of guessing what she wants. All right, tiebreaker.
Man, this is nerve-wracking.
It's on now.
Okay, it's a phrase and it's 2 words. I'm so nervous that I might bear. The little boy felt sick and bared bear on the bus.
Pass
Throw up.
out.
I think you said it.
I said throw up.
And you are right.
Oh.
Yeah, throw up and then threw up for the past tense. So, I'm so nervous that I might throw up. The little boy felt sick and threw up on the bus.
Okay.
Okay, so Matt
It
is
could have
our
been
winner.
passed out. It could have been
Could have been
But
passed
it
out.
wasn't.